Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening everybody. Welcome to the channel. My name's Emily. This is Autumn Budgets. On this channel we do cash stuffing, cash budgeting, we do savings challenges, anything we can do to use a cash stuffing method to get ahead. I also do dabble in prepping. I started prepping long before I started cash stuffing. I've been prepping since about 2016, since our disabled son was born. So yeah, it's been a long time thing for me. So I do the occasional video on it. And back by popular demand, today we are going to do a blackout box. So if that sounds interesting, then please just keep watching. Okay, hello everybody, hello, hope you're all okay. Welcome. If you are new, welcome back. If you're one of my returning subscribers, you're all very welcome. Yes, we are going to do blackouts today, or electricity power cuts as we call them. We did. We haven't quite so much this year. It's just sort of flickered. We had an afternoon earlier on in the year. But our grid here, sort of the last 3 or 4 years has been absolutely awful. It's not all parts of the village, it's just some parts of the village, and I know that they have worked on the lines here because it's nowhere near as bad as it used to be. The longest power outage we had up here went off Friday afternoon, didn't come back on till Monday night, Tuesday or Wednesday for some of the other residents in the little streets behind me. So that was the longest that I'd have to go, but I'll explain that after. So I just wanted to give out a few pointers. Hopefully it goes out and comes back on, which is usually the case. But if you are out for a few hours or overnight, or if for a prolonged period of time, I'm also here for that as well. So the first thing that I would think of is lighting. I have loads of examples here. I've put my little battery powered lights on, but I have solar powered lights downstairs. Unfortunately, because it has been so very miserable, probably won't get much solar power out of them. But again, it is an idea. It's just free, you know, the light costs you nothing. And so yeah, whatever you can do. Candles, torches, that sort of stuff. This on my desk is always here. Just sort of one of those flameless candles, especially if you have children. Flameless candles are an excellent alternative. So yeah, flameless candles, solar lights, string lights like these. Also my head torch is by the door. I do have a previous blackout box video. Excuse me. I will link it down below in my prepper playlist. These I did on my channel a couple of years ago now, but if you'd like to put a face to a voice, then yeah, please go and watch those. Probably it's changed a bit since then, because at the time we were getting lots of electricity cuts all the time. Now we don't get so many, but I still have all those lovely things in place, including this, which I'm sure I showed in that video. This is an alternative. You know those little wind-up animals that you can get for the kids? They've all got those in their bedside table. So you literally pump it and then obviously it works as a light. This one I was just doing before. We have actually used this. I put it on to make sure it works. So yeah, anything wind up. I also have a wind-up radio as well. So yeah, there we go. So 1 and 2, and then it's just sort of a lantern. So yeah, these are a good idea. This was well under a tenner at Mountain Warehouse at their end of year sale. They've always got stuff like that in their bargain bins. I bought this online. So yeah, it is literally just something that will never run out of battery, and you know, as long as you've got a bit of wind-up power in you, it should be fine. It's just another source that doesn't require batteries or flames or anything like that. So yeah, that sits in the kitchen. Lighting first. We do have, because we home ed, I do have a butane stove. We have a chimney outside. We have a fire. So yeah, all of those things, anything barbecue, obviously that's dual purpose because you can warm up on it and you can cook on it, save with a butane stove. All of these things are obviously outside. If you do have to bring them in, obviously just be careful with the old carbon monoxide. You need ventilation in there. So yeah, that was the only thing I wanted to say. Yeah, barbecue, chimney, anything like that. If it's out for a prolonged period of time, at least then you can eat as well. So that is good. Also on the butane stove, I didn't bring it up actually, but I do have a heating unit. They do have these, it's sort of a spherical type. I'll put one up here. I'll put mine up here actually, the one that I've got. It is like, it just basically burns and gives off heat. Instead of heating up food, it would just be like a little heater unit. It's just something that you can get on top of, you know, your ordinary pots and pans and things to go on top. It actually fixes on the top, but again, I probably wouldn't use it for very long inside, if at all, if I could get away with it, because I mean, even in the coldest winter here, if you're inside, I very, very much doubt you're going to freeze to death. Which brings me on to the next thing, which is warmth. Obviously, you have to keep your core temperature up, and if it does happen to go out, actually the weekend that it went out, luckily, I think it was April, so it wasn't so bad, but the one afternoon that it went out overnight was absolutely freezing. So what we did was, we literally wore our coats indoors. There's no shame in wearing your coat indoors. If you're cold, layer up, put your coat on, because basically you are outside if you have no heating. Oh, there's lucky people among you that have open fires. Oh my goodness, I would love one. Yeah, just anything like that would be absolutely perfect. You will all be absolutely fine. But for the rest of us, extra clothes, extra blankets, sleeping bags even. We put a tent up in here, and everyone got into it. That was very warm. So yeah, chances are you might be a bit cold, but you're going to warm up. And yeah, sleeping bags and that sort of things are perfect for that sort of thing. So yeah, if you've got somewhere to put them instead of putting up in the loft, especially if, I mean, you know, we prepare for this because obviously we had quite a lot of power outages. Admittedly, we don't get them anymore, but it just made me think that perhaps I don't want everything in the loft. Keep a couple of things in the airing cupboard or whatever. So yeah, just extra things. Door stops if you've got them. I've got one for the front door. My goodness me, my front door whistles like a kettle. So yeah, that goes down in the winter as well. Sorry, let me just change my notes over. Okay, the next thing it brings me on to is communication. So when our power went out for 4, 5, 6 days for some people, what there was a post on the local Facebook group saying that at the local community centre there was soup, tea and coffee, hot meals being served by the local council. So yeah, it was, but that obviously was on Facebook. I mean, things like the power blocks, you know, the rechargeable power blocks and things are much more common now. I have one in my handbag. Okay, so that leads me on to the next thing, which is after the big prolonged one, I started cash stuff in, and yeah, the first thing that I saved for was this. This was my first emergency fund purchase. So it is a Jackery at the moment. It sits there at 98%, which I look at it every month or so. Usually it's 99 or 98%, and I'll just plug it in and put it back in. But this will do most basic things. It will not do things like ovens and fridge freezers and stuff like that. It's not built for that. They do have bigger ones for that. So Jackery, if you're listening and you'd like to donate one, I would gladly accept it and go and power my fridge freezer with it and give you a demonstration. But no, on a serious note, this is just the littlest one they do, and obviously this 98% kept our phones on for, it will keep your phone on for 2 or 3 days. As it happened, because that outage was particularly prolonged, we did go to my mum's. So yeah, obviously circumstances would dictate that it wasn't very feasible for us to stay here, and we had the opportunity to escape across the county, which is exactly what we did. So but yeah, I did buy this. It's got like a 12 volt as well, so you can charge it from in a car, which also made me think about, I now have a new car, and obviously I can charge my phone in that. I know that during the recent disasters in America, those who had cars, they were charging their phones in the cars. So yeah, it's another option as well, just to keep up to date, because you don't want to find out that, you know, it's not going to be on for 2 weeks. And I'm sure that if it was like that over here, they have things in place where, excuse me, where there would be some provision like there was in our local community. I'm not sure what it would be like across the country, but round here everything was really, really good. I didn't go and use any of the local facilities. I was leaving that for people that needed it, because obviously I was prepared, which is another thing that you prepare for, to not be a casualty. So yeah, it's I would say as well, I did put the last thing on here was shelf stable food. You know what I mean by shelf stable food. I mean, during the time that we did stay here, we just ate a lot of sandwiches and stuff, and I know that that gets boring, but at least we had it. You are able to open a can of beans and eat them as they are. Anything canned you can eat as it is. It's a bit soul destroying though to eat a cold can of beans. So but yeah, it is an option. So yeah, keep yourself some storable food. I did treats. There's nothing worse than having miserable kids. We've always got board games here and all anyway, so we were good. Maybe put some pens and paper in your boxes, maybe some cheapy colouring books from the pound shop or whatever. Keep treats, chocolate, sweets, maybe stuff that they wouldn't have on a regular basis that they will fully appreciate when it's dark outside. Maybe even give them a light, or my kids have got lights of their own. I think that's important, you know, so they're not scared, especially if they're little. Also, I have to think about the aspect of, you know, maybe Oscar not being able to get up or whatever. So, you know, it's all, I wouldn't want him to get up if it was a blackout, if that makes sense, you know, and he's got a light there if he needs it. So yeah, you know what I mean. It's just an option for them, and it'll make them feel less scared. But certainly, chocolate and sweets and all those sorts of things, check it every couple of months, and hey, if you don't use them, you know, you can eat them. So that's why I always say, store what you prep, and prep what you store. So, you know, it's got to be what you have, you know, not something that you're gonna never touch. And you know, you get chocolate every few months or whatever, because you know you've got to eat it and replace it. So what a shame. Apologies if you can hear my little puppy wandering up and down. I have a little black Labrador that's very cute, who insists on tippy tappying, don't you, darling? He insists on tap dancing while I'm doing videos. So anyway, the motto on here is prepared, not scared. I know that there's so much going around at the moment about the stupid, if your number is this, you know, you're going to be without power on this day and this day. It's like, oh, what an utter bunch of BS, honestly. Don't believe the hype, don't believe the BS. Carry on as you would do. There's nothing wrong with being prepared. You do not have to be this prepared. But you know, being this prepared is really cool, and hey, you get some nice moody lighting as well, don't you? So yeah, it's all about balance. I think it's all about, like I said, being prepared, not scared. That's my motto on here. And even if you just get some string lights and get your sleeping bags out, you will be more prepared than 95% of this country, who I would have thought after 2020 would have learnt, but unfortunately have not. I'm afraid things have slipped back to what they were. So yeah, I will be carrying on this series. Please let me know what you would like to see next. I do have a prepper cash stuffing envelope. If you'd like me to do hauls of what I buy that month, I can do that. Yeah, let me know what you would like me to see next. The prepper playlist is down below. Remember, we are prepared, not scared. Don't take any notice of what they say on the news. Most are, well, 100% of it. And say 90%, let's be kind and say 90% is absolute bullcrap. And yeah, don't believe what they tell you, but I do believe in being prepared so you are not a liability to everyone else. And yeah, and if I can do it with disabled kids, then anyone can do it. It is simple and easy and common sense. So I'm always here to help. If you have any questions, please let me know. I love this sort of thing. It just makes me calm and gives me peace of mind. That's all I do it for. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you are new, please like and subscribe. I do these mostly weekly. I didn't do it yesterday because we went to the firework display. So yes, that was very cool. Like old Guy Fawkes night. It's a good old shame he didn't succeed, isn't it? We could do with a modern day Guy Fawkes, really. Okay, so I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is autumn cash stuffing, and then on Friday for festive Friday we are in full Christmas mode, going at it. Presents, wrapping, all sorts of things. I'll let you know how I got on at Home Bargains. It was interesting, let's say that I went on a Sunday, so that's probably not the bestest of times to go. But yeah, anyway, love you all. God bless. Don't forget our serenity prayer, which is, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. God bless you and your families, and I will see you on the next one for Autumn Budgets. Bye for now. Bye.